Welcome to Green Disruptors, where we spotlight the innovators rethinking sustainability, energy, and the future of our planet. Today, I'm joined by Adam, a serial entrepreneur in the clean energy space and founder of Molecule Systems. With a background in energy finance and solar development, Adam has spent over a decade helping organizations unlock the full potential of renewable energy. Now, through Molecule Systems, he's pioneering technology that empowers developers and businesses to rapidly build energy management solutions and scale virtual power plants. In this episode, Adam shares how Molecule is changing the way we think about distributed energy resources, optimization, and the future of resilient, cost-saving clean power. Well, welcome, Adam. Thanks for joining us on Green Disruptors today. Tell everyone where you're speaking to us from. I was a little jealous when you mentioned it to me. Yeah, so beachy vibes all around. Yeah, I love that. So yeah, tell us who you are and what your background is a little bit, and then we'll get into your current project.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm a bit of a serial entrepreneur. I started out in the energy sector in about 2008 and was focused on the finance side at a time when projects really didn't have access to financing at all, and you had the solar cities of the world out there. And so I had a finance company that then evolved into a development company that focuses on commercial projects. Today it's commercial industrial. At the time when we started, we were really focused. I read some article in a newspaper about this idea of mini utilities on individual homes. And that vision just captivated me. And so I didn't even know it was still there over, a decade of being in the business. And then now when we talk more about molecule systems today, we've ended up there, right? Where I'm totally focused on the tech side, enabling these virtual power plants. But from the development company, which is called Promise Energy, that's still operating. My brothers run the day-to-day business over there. We had a project where Mercy Housing had 400 buildings across the United States. These are the ones that house the 1% of the 1%. So just an amazing organization. And they were looking to solarize. And so one of their first orders of business was, hey, we need to just monitor and know what the existing solar is doing on our buildings.
Yeah. Okay, well, good summary. So, developing microgrids, you have to understand how the energy is being used so that you can better optimize. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, and it's understanding how the energy is being used. But one of the complexities in microgrids or in energy in general is
yeah. Yeah. And you told me the potential for energy and cost savings can be huge. So can you kind of lay out a scenario for us there?
Yeah, and it really depends on sort of the opportunity, right? Like, what are people paying for energy? Are
Yeah.
they in an outage prone environment where losing their ability to operate can cost millions of dollars? If you're doing cold storage, for example, and you've
Yeah.
got we work with sushi companies, so when you think about the potential loss, the spoilage, right, that comes from an outage event, it can be daunting. So really, it depends, but specifically around, I think what we were talking about was virtual power plants. And a lot of times when you have a battery that's participating in a virtual power plant, it's, technically enrolled. And let's say the maximum opportunity for its participation is $1,000 a year, right? And that's recurring annually. When you then add optimization, and optimization is not just sort of the setting up of the staging of the asset, but it's actually during the event. There are, you think of an event as being one thing, when in reality, there's multiple programs that are happening concurrently. And so with the right algorithmic understanding, and literally this is real-time algorithm trading that's happening on the back end through a partner of ours, Lightsmith Energy, we take their forecasting and optimization engine, we bolt that on top of our edge-based control and automation platform, and now you kind of merge these two requirements that can unlock 2 to 4 times the value. So rather than making that $500, you could be looking at $2,000 to $2,500 a year, right? And so there's effectively the way that people are doing VPPs today, and then there's a way where you can really make money at it, or reduce the return on investment time frame for a customer.
Right.
The grid with the services that it needs and what distributed energy resources are really designed to do, and they're incredibly efficient at it. So anyway, could be very exciting, but it's also a bit of a scary time for everybody.
Totally. Yeah. So who is the ideal customer? I mean, you mentioned places that have like cold storage, but is there like a ICP that you're going after specifically?
Have your developers bring them to this platform to where you know that they're going to be using tools that are proven, methodologies that are very modern architectures, and you can actually develop what would normally take a year and millions of dollars, in weeks, right? And that's the difference. So you can really rapid prototype and test what it is that you need to do. And the platform's designed, it came from aerospace and defense before energy. And so there's never a human that's conveniently located to go reset something, right? You've got to roll a truck, and it's expensive. So, and I'm getting to your answer here, but there's this sort of story of like,
yeah, it's okay. It's relevant.
There was a pivot here, right? But the background of the tech was really designed to give energy companies the confidence to actually innovate, right? Like there's this idea of like, hey, we're a hardware company, and we have to we aspire to kind of having the value of the software, right? Because software can have, you're developing every component of the software, but just deploying the product that you want quickly and then iterating it quickly, right? So you spend a year building an energy management system, you're going to get the most basic energy management system you've ever heard of, if it even works, right? Molecule, it's like you can take it to the next level, right? So really innovate. And so you've got this sort of sandbox where developers can, what do you have on your whiteboard that you aspire to do? You can literally unlock that in weeks using Molecule. And you own all your code and all your IP. Or we have these products that we've already, speaking a little bit to the pivot, that offer didn't really stick, because a lot of energy companies they're not that sophisticated on the software side. Maybe their software team doesn't necessarily have the pull with leadership that they might require. And so it just didn't go anywhere. But they were asking for energy management systems and access to virtual power plants and participating in all of that. And that's where we literally used our own software development kit to develop these applications that now we've productized. And we think of them really as a...
Yeah, that makes sense. Like start with this, and then as you use it, you'll kind of learn maybe if there's missing pieces that you need to add and stuff like that.
Yeah, and in energy, it can be market specific, right? Like what's required in this market is not required in that market. It might be a compliance requirement. Like in California, you've got performance data reporting for batteries if you want that incentive, for the SGIP incentive. So that's an app that you need to build to just operate efficiently there. Well, great, just download the app and put it onto that gateway and you're done. Right? So depending on what you're trying to do, rather than recode your entire stack, you can modularly add applications as needed, and these applications share memory. So it's just, again, a very different experience, but it allows you to flexibly adapt when things change, right? And we haven't officially announced this, but I know we're recording this ahead of when it will be released, so I can tell you about it now. But we've got our partnership with Lightsmith Energy really kind of changes what I believe our optimal customer is these days, and that is the ability to bring that dividend VPP product that we're collaborating on, that unlocks 2 to 4x the revenue on the virtual power plant side. But that speaks to our technology, right? Where we've got this base tech that's so flexible and so extensible that somebody else says, hey, we got this tech that does this over here. And we're like, great, let's just put it over here. And literally within weeks now we have a product offering that is not just meeting the market, but it's exceeding anyone's expectations of what's even possible, right? And that's the innovation, that's the flexibility, and that's the exciting part that, again, is not just here for us, but we're saying, hey, guys, anybody that's out there doing what we're doing or requiring, software to, deliver a vision, check out Molecule, see how we can help.
Yeah. So, I mean, that sounds like obviously a great solution that's really needed. So what is kind of where are you at in terms of getting this thing up to scale, and maybe what are some of the current bottlenecks you're facing?
Good question. The hardest thing about this journey has been the product market fit component of it. When you've got this tech that is just so incredibly capable, sometimes you feel like you're a mile wide, and the product to me feels like the most sort of, it feels like the path that will scale the fastest and really bring, sort of shine the light on Molecule and what it's really doing. Because as people look like, well, how are they doing this? They're going to discover the rest of the world that we've been describing so far.
Yeah, and you have to get people in the door initially with something that they immediately need and that makes sense to them. Yeah.
Exactly. And then the exciting part for us is to see how others use this technology, right? It's like, what ideas do you have? What, incredible coding and skills do you have? Bring that to the platform and let's see what you can do, right? So, we haven't even gone out for a seed round yet. So we're still in that sort of self-funded angel rounds, and largely just because, before you go out and raise capital and
yeah. Well, I'll be curious. I mean, you'll have to keep me updated. I'll be curious how that goes in terms of outreach and marketing, because that's definitely interesting. I don't know if you have any pre-thoughts on that.
That is, the storytelling, right? I think when I think of marketing, it's just the storytelling, and especially with technology that's, again, can be very techy. Connecting
right.
dots.
You lose people really quickly.
Yeah, it's like, what does that even mean? So figuring out how to tell the story is and I'm not the marketer. You're the marketer. So it comes down to bringing that talent and skill to what we have on the tech side, and identifying who that ideal customer is, and figuring out what is it going to take to communicate that there's real value here that they need to.
Right. How can we relate it to something that they care about and something that they understand? And yeah, so, well, we should have more conversations about that as it gets closer, because that's where I feel that fire in my belly start to go when you start talking about that. Like, yay. So, yeah. It's exciting. I mean, yeah, you're at an exciting time. So obviously seed rounds and stuff, that'll be a challenge and a hurdle, but it sounds like you've done a lot of the grunt work to position yourself well.
Yeah, and it's not my first rodeo, I guess I can say that.
That's true. Yeah.
when it's the right time, and so I know it's the right time for the tech, and I know the tech is sorely needed. And really what we're looking for, kind of waiting for, is what's that right scale partner for us, right? And when you have the technology like this, money is one thing, but if you actually have a partner that can come in and those dollars can be allocated in a strategic way to, like, here's the goal, we're going to deliver this, and you've got X thousands.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it seems like there will be plenty of potential partners that would be a fit and would be interested in that. So, well, I guess best of luck. I covered everything I wanted to. Is there anything you want to add at the end here?
No, I appreciate the opportunity to share. Full disclosure, this is my first podcast ever. You get that award.
Could have fooled me.
But what I will say, I'm teaching a DERMS class this summer through the LA Clean Tech Incubator, so I'm excited about that, and just getting more people.
Yes, awesome. I feel like we're living in the era of collaboration, and in the spaces I put myself anyway, so it's a good place to be.
Yeah, you don't know everything, right? So you got to have the collaborators around you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks again, Adam. It's been fun.
Thank you, Megan. Look forward to doing it again. Bye-bye.
That was Adam Boucher, founder of Molecule Systems, a company creating the backbone for the next generation of energy innovation. From enabling developers to move fast to unlocking 2 to 4 times more value from virtual power plants, Molecule is proving that clean energy can be smarter, more flexible, and more profitable. If you enjoyed this episode of Green Disruptors, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who's passionate about the clean energy transition. Until next time, keep challenging the status quo and driving change for a sustainable future.